Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to our morning prep here for Wednesday, June 21, 2023. Good morning, Julie. How are you? Is it Muthu? I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry if not. JW, Thomas, Fred, Bob. That's the only names I can see. So good morning to everybody. What is this? Wednesday. Half the week is over. So we're on downhill slide now. Thank you. Glad to have you here, Muthu. Appreciate it. So yesterday, we had this gap down and a doji here on the SPY. And, you know, most of you guys know how I feel about a doji. It's really doesn't mean a whole lot. Very undecided. It's lost. It's drunk. It has no idea. It has no votes. For those that were here yesterday, we talked about using candlesticks, voting to determine what the candlesticks are doing, and a doji just has no votes, none at all. So what I'm seeing in the SPY here, we're overbought. Okay, that's what it amounts to. We're just a little bit overbought, and it looks to me like we're just seeing profit taking now. I would shape that comment a little bit different if, there we go, if yesterday had done something like this, and maybe this morning we were opening up like this, you know, I might shape that comment a little bit different, a little more, wow, bears are taking control here, be careful. But right now, really all we're doing is some profit taking is what it looks like, just because there's no heavy selling and we're not really breaking any trend yet. We get through yesterday's low, that'll get us below the T line. Well, the next level to me looks like we're going to be right in this area right here. That puts us right at the top of this pop out of the box setup. And that also gets us into the trend indicator, below the trend indicator, which I personally would rather we not get there. Because if we get there, then I have to take more of a bearish approach. As long as we can stay above that, I'll continue to take more of a bullish approach. Doesn't mean I won't take a short, but anything below that, I have to take more of a bearish approach. We also break through the trend indicator here. What happens is that puts that 50-period moving average in sight. And that 50-period moving average, that's that little blue dotted line right there. If we draw this line and go straight across, you can see how it starts to land on some of this support right in here. So support is a target. Targets are support. Resistance is a target. Targets are resistance. So here we are, the possibility of getting back down to that 418 level or at that 50-period moving average. When it really comes down to it, what we're all doing is watching this area right here. That whole area is what everybody is watching. We can maybe go a little bit lower, a little bit lower. There we go. This is the area that's important. And all eyes are on it. What's going to happen here? And we'll use price action and how candlesticks are formed. Let me give you an example here. If today, with that doji being there, if today the bulls were to step up a little bit and maybe do something like that, well, we call that a bullish engulf. Maybe here I'll make it really official. There we go. We call that a bullish engulf. You could also look at that as a morning star signal. On the other hand, if the sellers step in and they just do this, what we've got now is a doji continuation pattern to the downside. So it'll be important how today's candle ends up on the SPY, on how the attitude of the market continues. Let's take a look at IWM. Now, IWM to me is looking a bit more pulled backish right now, if that's such a thing. This right here, that line right there, let me put this up. Where this 181, we'll round it to 10 is, that's the 50% pullback from where we started this rally to the upside. And that puts us awfully close to that 200 period moving average. Honestly, that would make a lot of sense, price coming back down into here. Now, it doesn't have to. The bulls could step in. They definitely could. And they could start moving this sideways, and then run us back up. The thing to do now is we closed yesterday below the T-line. So anything below the T-line, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not energetic. I'm not real bullish gung-ho. I'm not sure that I'm very bearish on this just yet, unless it's some quick bear trade. We are holding above the trend indicator. That's still working. However, I think that's in jeopardy, and I would really watch that 181. We need to see what happens in this area right here. And, here's the 50 period moving average right in there. So this might be, we push back down in here. You're going to test this whole resistance level right in here, right where we broke out of. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Qs are doing pretty good. Qs are still trending. They look marvelous, other than they're oversold and they're in the midst of some profit taking right now. Below the T-line, I'll get a little bit nervous. That'll put us below a close below the T-line. That'll put us in line with the trend indicator here, which is my trading trend. And I really don't want that broke, because if this gets broke, there's a long way down here to that 50 period moving average. And once this is broke, that is a real target down there. So I'd rather that not happen. That could really put a twist on this market, make the bears awfully happy. And we don't really want to do that. Not really. But if we have to, we'll join them and we'll be happy with them. We'd just rather stay to the upside here. So be a little cautious today. T21, 22, 23, excuse me. Down here on the left, you can see that yesterday we closed still on the green side, so still suggesting that the bulls have a little bit of juice left in them. The hourly also still closing bullish, indicating that the bulls still have a little bit of juice in them, and they're holding that uptrend with just profit taking here. So we'll watch this. We'll see how this ends up. Now, this is not live pre-market, so this is how we close. So it's not showing anything pre-market. So we'll keep an eye on that. A couple of charts that I'm kind of looking at least adding to the watch list. I'm maybe kind of looking at maybe that's too much of a statement. I'm going to put them on the watch list. If they pop up and look good and I feel comfortable about today, then okay, we'll do something. ASTS is gapping up. This one here is going to require a typical, how do you play your gap? So none of this candle will be here in the open. It'll open up here. So a simple way to play the gap is watch where, say, maybe the 15-minute low is, put that line in there, and you can trade above that to the long side or below that to the short side. I'm more of a daily chart trader, so what I'm going to do is probably drop that line down in there about halfway. Let's see what the next day or two does, and then I'll be looking for a possible entry on a pullback, looking for buyers to step in where I might step in with them. I think CLDX is also setting up. See how we've run to the upside? Let's get rid of all this. There we go. See how we've run to the upside? We broke out of the 200 period moving average. We pulled back with profit taking. And it looks like yesterday some buyers came back in, wanted to spend some money here, right at the trend indicator. So this is one that I'm watching on the watch list. And I'm going to need a little bit of a bullish move rather than try to get it down. Well, I don't know. That may not be true. I don't really know why this is not showing up pre-market. Sometimes they don't. Let's see what this does around the T-line. I could see a buy here, but if it closed back below the T-line today, I would be out. Ultimately, it's going to need to break out of this little flag in here. Let's see, NIO. NIO looks like it might be headed up to the 200 period moving average. This would be just, watch your entry in here. That's pretty steep, but it's very young. It's very early, so it just might have some legs to push up a little higher before it collapses of just being tired. So we might look at that one right here. BITO is up big yesterday, last couple of days. So a little bit of rest here. I love this little chart pattern where you rally up and then you wait for the pullback. And a pullback can just be sideways consolidation, okay? Pullback is not pullback. It could be at this angle. It could be at this angle. It could just be sideways. So it's just that rest. Take a rest. And then what we want to see is buyers start nibbling, and then we can nibble along with those buyers. Let buyers nibble on it first to make sure it's not poisonous. If they don't die or get sick, then we can nibble on that fruit as well. So let buyers nibble on it first. What else? Thomas has got one here. WPM for the short side, yes. Yeah, gold is still not looking very good, is it? Gold's looking a little pitiful here. More downside. I respect the 200 period moving average, so that would be a place that I would have a great deal of respect for. Watch that price action. Ultimately, you would like it to fall through there. But like I said, I respect that 200 pretty much. So I would have to see weakness there as well. Sean is pointing out that LVS is setting up for a short. Yes. Possible blue ice failure here. Here we've got this top up here, and then we've started running down with a low, a failed high, a lower low, failed high, a lower low. And then we pop up and we just keep beating that 50 period moving average up. It just doesn't seem to be working. So maybe the sellers, what they've got here is they've pushed up higher than what traders are willing to pay. So sellers, what buyers are willing to pay. What sellers do now is sellers drive it down to a level that buyers are willing to pay. Maybe it comes back down to the dotted deuce here, test these lows right through here, and then maybe the 200, and then maybe at that point, that is what LVS is worth, and maybe worth buying. So yes, thank you, Sean. I'm gonna flag that, put that on the short list. I can see pre-market here that SLV is still heading down. KR is not looking the best. However, I would have a hard time shorting KR with a candle like that right to my left. I would have a tough time with that. So probably not going to do that. Here's one long, and then we'll call it a day. This is one I'm watching on the watch list, is FITB. I know this is one of the regional banks, so this is probably a turnoff to a whole lot of people. That's okay. I like what this has done. I like the rally. I like the pullback. It's held the 50 period moving average quite well. We've got this bullish engulf with another pullback, and here we're breaking out of that downtrend line. I'll take those kind of chart patterns any day of the week. So that's one I'm going to be watching for a buy today or tomorrow. I mean, I don't have to buy it today. All right, with that, I want to say a great big morning to everybody once more. Hope to see you in the trading room. And you guys all take care. We'll see you in about 30 minutes, bottom of the hour, for the market to open up, okay? Thanks, everybody, for listening in. Appreciate it.